Is printed.
So moved. Second.
On adoption, all those in favor? Motion is carried. Two delegations this evening. First of all, Rachel Blaney, a guest from the Immigrant Welcome Center. Welcome, and if you wish to take the podium, it's all yours, and I believe the PowerPoint's set up for you.
Thank you.
And it's not pink. And it's not purple.
That works. Good. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me again. I feel like I'm here bothering you a lot, but we just want to make sure that you know what's up with us and everything that's happening. So today I'm just going to do a little bit of a conversation just to give you some information about where we are. So again, just to say that this is our vision statement, and we do serve the whole North Island region, and we embrace diversity and inclusivity while actively engaging with the vibrant cultures in the region. And there are many, as you'll see soon, and where newcomers feel safe, welcome, and respected. So just a little bit of history. We have been in existence since 1992. We've had lots of walkaways from racism, which we're well known from. And we also had an award for welcoming communities on behalf of Campbell River. And as you all know from the last time that I came to see you, we did see a big change in our funding from the provincial government to the federal government. So that's, in the last 6 months, really what we've been focusing on is negotiating that contract and putting it into practice. So, our service profile, and we do send this out twice a year, and hopefully if you're not getting it, do let me know. We send it out electronically. Last year, from April to March, we did over 2,500 services. As you can see, over 62 countries were represented in the people that we were serving. The top countries of origin for this section was Vietnam, China, Philippines, Korea, the UK, US, Japan, Mexico, German, and Chile. We have about 120 amazing volunteers, and I just am really proud of our volunteer program, where we get people from all over the province volunteering for us. We have some great people in other parts of the country or in the province volunteering and doing some electronic work for us, so we're really proud of that. And over 2,000 volunteer hours for the organization, and over 800 clients were served. So just so you can see, the Comox Valley represents 45% of the client base that we serve. The North Island is up to 14%, and Campbell River is 41%. So you guys are the highest. So what I'm really here to talk about with you today is our local immigration partnerships. With our changing funding from the province to the federal government, we learned really quickly that one of the models that the federal government has been using in Ontario and in Manitoba and Alberta is local immigration partnerships. Really what that's about is looking at how we can collaborate as communities to really support the integration of newcomers to our area. As we did more research, and I'll talk about that a little bit more, every area decides how to do it. It's really based on what the community says. So the purpose of it is really to form a local partnership council on strategic planning for immigration. So we really see the model that we have been presented to us is that we would have a higher level board or committee that would meet only twice a year to really look at what's happening in our area, what do we want to do, and how do we want to serve this population. And then if there was certain areas that came up, we would have smaller subgroups that would come together and actually get that done. The scope of the project is 2 councils, and we'll be forming them in Campbell River and in the Comox Valley. So it is an initiative of Citizenship and Immigration Canada. It is something that they're hoping to have Canadian spread across Canada. And I think that we should be very proud because there's only 2 LIFs awarded in all of Vancouver Island, and that was to this area and to Victoria. So I think it's a really good testament to the amount of work that we have done in this area around coming together to support immigrants and newcomers. In the next few weeks, I know you're going to be there, we're having our international welcome where the college and the school district and our organization is partnering together. So I really think it's the collaborative nature of the work that we're doing here that's making us one of those 2 locations. So we are doing some research, and Tasha is also one of my co-workers, and she will be leading up the project in the Valley. She's been doing a lot of research and comes to us with a lot of academic background, so we're doing some of that research, but we're also talking to community, we're talking to service providers, and we're talking to immigrants themselves to really understand what we're doing well in the community, where are some weaknesses, where are some partnerships where we can see some strength built, and we're using focus groups and surveys and conversations. The strategy is really to develop a coordinated, comprehensive, and strategic approach to I think it's really important that we recognize that there is a lot of research out there that talks about that. I was just reading something recently from Nova Scotia, and although that's a province, it's still considered a smaller centre as we would consider ourselves, because the three main communities are still Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal. And so they were really talking about what is the strategy to really help people stay. And that's definitely in smaller centres something that can be a struggle. Is we get great people here with great advantages, great skills, but sometimes for various reasons we can't keep them. And so, you know, I've talked about this before. It breaks my heart when I'm sending really amazingly skilled people to Alberta. It's really hard for me to let them go. So I think the more that we can come together and look at it strategically and really understand what the Valley needs and how can we find the best way to let people know that we're here and that we have opportunities for them, so that it's a good match for both sides. So just to give a little bit of comprehension, there are a few local immigration partnerships in Ontario. And I just thought this was important so you understand how there's a similar model, but people get to use them in a way that makes sense for their community. So in Durham, the focus was really around leveraging resources and capacity building. And so their action was creating funding opportunities updates in a funders forum. They created a huge website where there was a lot of resources and information about different funding, so that different groups could access that funding more readily. In Ottawa, there was a limited awareness of the value of immigration. So they created an official welcoming in Ottawa. So it was a week long, and there's 6 times learning events during their event. So it was really about how can we help the whole community know about the value of immigration and why immigrants are an important part of our community. So thank you for your time. I'm always open for questions, either here or in my office. We will be bugging you about the local immigration partnerships. We would love to have some good representation, or to at least have a conversation with you so we can gather some more information to find out what the value would be for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. Any questions from the council? I just had one. In terms of the provincial nominee program, I'm aware of several businesses in the community that are in the process of changing hands or have changed hands. Into that program, I assume you liaise with the local contacts there?
Yeah, we absolutely do. And I think, you know, for smaller centres, the provincial nominee program is really, really important because it really can highlight the specific skills. It allows us, I always think about all the people that we help. So they come in as a visitor, they come on a work visa, and it gives a great opportunity for the community to see if it's a good fit. One of the big downfalls of the provincial nominee program is when there's challenges to getting that. And I know we've also had the reverse where businesses have called us and said, they're not working with us fast enough. This person's going to have to leave the country, and you don't understand the thousands and thousands of dollars I'm going to lose because there's nobody here with those skills. So that's what I mean about really looking at the strategy, because it's impacting our businesses, it's impacting community, it's impacting, in some cases, families. So what can we do? Because a lot of these folks are coming in and they're buying business, they're highly skilled, and I think that's something that we lose as we assume that they're not as many high skilled, but in fact the people we are serving are amazing. And when they say, oh, well, we're going to volunteer until we find work, we're very, very excited because some of their skill sets are phenomenal. And I have to say that people that you saw in there, UK and the US, are a high number of people that we serve as well. So, and we still see them facing challenges, even though, you know, English is their first language and they're very good at speaking the language, they still have certain challenges. So having a really cohesive process is important.
Great. Well, thanks for your update, and look forward to hearing more as we go.
Okay, thank you.
All right, our next delegation is Mary Ruth Harris on behalf of Comox BIA. Welcome, Mary Ruth, and congrats on your appointment.
Thank you. I'd like to start by handing out cards,
All right.
fresh off the press.
You know, I was going to say, the heat's still wet on them.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, madam.
Shelley already got them. Yes, but thankfully I know how to edit, and Thank you so much. I just wanted to really just come and introduce myself and to connect with each of you. The reason I've given you the cards is that I would really encourage each of you to reach out to me privately. I'd really like to go for a coffee with each one of you to find out what your ideas are about the downtown core. and the marina enhancement project that's coming up, and just some general ideas about participation and how we can all work together. So that's what the cards are for. You'll find on the back everything with Facebook, Twitter, our website, and my email address. Now, I'd like to give you a small version of my history, but most of it can be found on LinkedIn. So I would encourage you to visit Mary Ruth Harris on LinkedIn and have a look at all of the different experiences I've had in my education and how you might be able to leverage that a little bit. And I will say that I grew up in a small town in southern Ontario, about 1/8 of the size of Comox, and my dad ran the local menswear store for 45 years. So I have firsthand experience in dealing with boutique shopping and what that's like to live that day in and day out. So when I'm out talking to the members, I know exactly what they're talking about in terms of the challenges that they're facing on a day-to-day operations. So I just wanted you to let you know that I do bring that to the table, and I do have firsthand information, like living and breathing my dad getting phone calls at 6 o'clock on Sunday morning that somebody had died and we needed a suit by that night, and I totally know what it's like to run a small business. So in terms of the BIA, one of the first initiatives that you will see is our new website. Now, Vaughn Palmer and Holly Grant and the team put together a really great plan, and I've been part of the end of that. And we will be launching it the week of September 15th. We will be presenting it to you in a council meeting on the 17th, and we'll also are hoping to include it in the open house with the marine enhancement, because there is going to be a page for the marine enhancement, and I'll be working with the architects to gather the information that they feel are available, like drawings and stats and everything that they want to do. We will have available on our website as well. It's going to have a members and associates package, so they will have a private login where each member, so every single retailer in the Comox BIA will be able to log in and manage their own page if they wish to. If they don't, we will do it for them. And it will all be consistent. There will be 5 photographs for every single business. Every business will have exactly the same information so that there is a consistency across the board for people traveling. And the best part is that it is capable to be on a phone or be on a tablet, and it changes depending on what platform you're using it on. So it's completely mobile, which is fantastic for people coming in Inner Harbor on the boat. They can log in and have Shaw open, which is fabulous, and be able to find what it is they're looking for before they even step off the boat. Now, the next event for us is September the 18th, and that is the next street market. And I'm here to personally invite each one of you to come to the market and participate in a street hockey shinny game. And you will be playing against the little guys. So I'm working with Darcy Walters, who is the Senior Manager for Recreation in the Valley, and we are going to be gathering together little hockey teams to come out and play a street hockey game that evening. And it'll be an ongoing thing, and we have partnered with the Canadian Tire Jumpstart to be on site to talk about their programs. And so to play in the street hockey game, you have to give a donation, and it goes to Jumpstart to allow more kids to play in sport. And we also have identified some new artisans to come out, including the Dark Side Chocolates from Cumberland. She is really keen on coming out to that market. And with regards to the market, we are partnering with the Comox Mall, and we are now going to run the market 12 months a year. So as soon as the weather turns, the third Thursday market will move into the mall. The mall has tons of space, and they have a new promotions manager, James Holland, and I've spoken with Corey Cotton, who's the property manager, and they are just thrilled with some of the ideas that we've been able to brainstorm so far. So we really are working on getting events going both in the mall and out on the street to raise traffic and profile. The next big event after the street market is going to be the Halloween Family Fest. It is not going to be on the 31st, it's going to be on the 30th, which is Thursday. And we have partnered with the Comox Rec, and they are going to provide childcare services for people to come and do crafts. We have partnered with the Glacier Kings, who are going to come out in all their glory as young hockey players to help carve pumpkins, and we are leveraging some of our relationships with Seaford Farms and John's Independent Grocer and Coastal Black Estate Winery for a donation of pumpkins, so that there's enough pumpkins on hand for everyone. There will be games, and there will be almost like a poker run for the kids. So they'll start at the Comox Mall, they'll go out onto the street, and they have to go into every single retailer to get, probably it's going to be a stamp, and they have to all the way down to as far as the retail go, across the street to Simon Cycles, and back down this side of the street, all the way down across at Berwick and back to the mall, so that there is traffic going into every single retail store that evening, so the adults get a chance to see of all the great things we have here in the Comox Valley to offer, or in town. And the RCMP are also confirmed for that evening to be on hand to help educate. And we are also talking to the fire department as well as search and rescue. So if you have any ideas about what you'd like to add for Halloween Family Fest, that's what our conversation will be when we have our coffee. And later this week, I'm going to be meeting with the Courtenay Downtown Business Association executive, and we are going to be discussing ways in which we can schedule events so that we're not scheduling on the same day, so that we're not competing for the same families, and to do cross-promotion for each other. So Halloween is now 2 days in the Comox Valley. It's here with us on the 30th, and it's with them on the 31st. So we will also do some joint marketing and some joint promotion to encourage everybody to come to both locations. And what kid doesn't want to wear a costume 2 days in a row? Win-win. And I would really, and with regards to the Halloween Family Fest, again, it's the 30th. I would encourage you to put it on your calendars. I realize it's only 2 weeks before the election, but I would encourage you to come out and participate with the kids and carve some pumpkins and put a costume on and walk with them up and down the street and participate in whatever games we have going, which one of them I think is going to be pumpkin bowling, where we get little mini pumpkins and we bowl, because of course in the mall there's a number of empty spaces. So the other aspect about the mall is that we're talking about doing a couple of galleries and partnering with the Comox Valley photographers. There's 200 strong. They've been going for 50 years, and they have some really talented people. And it would be a case where they could do a whole gallery and showcase their work, and they want to sell it. So what a great way for November and December to have a couple of galleries of local artwork and local photography available in the malls, and also to spread those amongst the retailers for those who want to participate, because they can choose 2 or 3 photographs that they could have in their store, as well as artwork from the Comox Valley Art Women's Group, which are about 30 strong. And again, they've had shows at the art gallery, and I've seen some of their work, and it's really quite extraordinary. So we have some very talented people here in the Valley, and we need to give them a higher profile. So I think that's about it. I really would just encourage you to come and participate as much as you can for any of our events. And I will be sending email reminders so that you get it onto your calendars. And for those of you who don't play hockey, it's okay. It's going to be a Nerf ball, and you can't get hurt. And it's just going to be a lot of fun playing with the kids.
Is it full contact hockey or what's going on?
Well, you might not.
Yeah.
As long as
You
there's no
can
warning.
split the council in half, and you can play against each other for one of the games too. So, does anybody have any questions about any of that?
Times, you mentioned those dates for the street market and the street hockey and the Halloween Fun Fest, Family Fest. Are you looking at a particular time for those events to start?
So the street market will be 4 to 7, which is
Right.
what it is now, and it will continue at 4 to 7 for the 3rd Thursday all the way through till April.
Into the mall?
In May, we are going to change it probably to 4 to 8, or even 9 in summer months.
Okay.
the town of Sydney, down in the peninsula, they do a street market that is phenomenally successful, because people know when it's going to be. It's every Thursday, and it's quite late, and it's beautiful on summer evenings. So we want to examine later hours. And we also, I don't want to get into too much of that right now, but we also will be examining, looking at a different street, so extending it to the other side of Comox Ave that is in front of the Coastal Community Credit Union. So we can have street hockey on one side and then the market on the other side. We wouldn't close off that Port Augusta, but it would be closed on either side. And Glenn Wills and I were out the other day looking at it, and the apartment building that's on the north side, they have a driveway that's very close to, I believe it's church. So from the driveway on, it would be open for local traffic. But then from there to Port Augusta, there's no businesses that are open beyond 5 because most of them are professional offices. So it would be a great opportunity to have, and it's flat, which would be nice for street hockey. So that's for next summer though, that's not current.
Specific to the hockey, then you're talking about 18th. What time are you planning for the game? Not just totally 4 to 7. Are you looking at a specific time?
We're probably looking at 5 to 7 for the actual street hockey, and this time it would be in the parking lot of the mall right in front of Woofie's, and we'll move the fire truck up to across the driveway.
Great, thanks.
And the October 30th is the Family Fest for Halloween.
Excellent. Well, thank you for all that. Councilor McKinnon.
Just a quick question, Ruth. I
Yes.
see you've jumped into things with both feet as usual, and well done. The summer thing is moving to the mall, and the market is moving to the mall after this
Yes.
September.
Yes.
So it's going to be in the mall right through to April. Did I understand you correctly?
Yes, you did. So if the weather is somehow exceptionally good in October, then we'll leave it on the street. If it's not, then we have the option of moving it into the mall. And at that point, of course, November, December, January, February, March, April, depending on whether we'll all be in the mall on that third Thursday of each month. And then it would come back up to the street again as soon as the weather can be fairly guaranteed. So.
All right, Councilor Price.
Yes, and that's great, and I'm glad you're emailing the details too. That'd be very helpful. And also that you are using the mall. It always seems such a pity that we have this huge indoor space. So I certainly appreciate where you're looking. And I don't know if you've thought of, in the past, many years ago, the town celebrated Heritage Week in conjunction with the Comox Mall. And that's a February event. And February is often a very flat time, and it was always very successful in bringing people to town. We had events there, we had guest speakers, and bring your lunch and listen to heritage talk. So yes, you might want to.
If you have more information on that, maybe that's something you and I could
Yes.
look at building that together. Because I know that Louis Bartholomew, who runs the Alberni project in the mall, he is a fountain of historical information, and he would love to be involved in something that has anything to do with heritage, in addition to what he already does. He's doing a fabulous job bringing in special events there, and he would love to be a part of that. Yeah.
And people love heritage, and we had the spinners and weavers, and we've had a few animals at one point. Recreating past lives, so yeah, it's great space.
And with the Berwick so close, there might be some really great unknown resources that are living there that we might be able to tap in if we let them know that we're interested in tracking down heritage stories and real life experience from a century ago or half a century ago.
Yes, that's probably true.
Yes.
All right, well, we'll look forward to your next presentation on the 17th. And also, I know staff and you are working on the renewal of the mandate for the BIA, which comes up at the end of this year, and I know we're hoping to get that done over the next couple months. So appreciate your efforts in that regard, and as I say, thank you for your presentation.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for the time.
Okay, we'll move on to minutes of meetings. We have the council meeting minutes of August 20th for approval.
Move.
Second.
Councilor Fletcher.
Can I just ask on my report at the bottom of page 12, the very last item should be the Comox Valley Airport Commission, not the airport.
Yes.
And then that, thank you.
corrections? All those in favor? Passed. Committee reports we have for receipt at page 15, the management report.
Move receipt.
Second?
And on receipt, all those in favor? Motion's carried. You note there is 2 new items there regarding the presentations made at the last council meeting. Staff will be working on those issues as we go. Special reports, we just have the minutes of the regional district August 26 for receipt.
Move receipt.
Second. On receipt then, all in favor? Motion's carried. For correspondence, we have a letter from Rosalind Creed, Kaibay Guest Lodge and Cottages regarding Kaibay Lagoon mosquito problem. I suggest that we receive and file those and refer any further correspondence on this issue to staff.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Any discussion? I say that because we've got other letters
Yeah.
and emails. Yes.
And maybe in that too, we could refer, I don't know if everyone saw, there was also an email that came from somebody else concerned about the mosquito problem.
Yes.
And they also sent a copy of the integrated pest management plan for,
Yeah, that'll all be referred to staff.
yeah, so if that plan could,
Cal
go.
Fraser's, that's from Saanich, right?
from Saanich, yeah.
Al Fraser's kind of looking at that right now, so.
Great, thank you.
All right, all those in favor? Motion's carried. As you know, we've been receiving lots of correspondence regarding Mac Lang House. There's a bunch on our agenda here, not specifically itemized. We have others to come in as well. And again, I suggest that we receive and file and refer all that correspondence to staff.
Move that.
Second. Those in favor? Motion's carried.
Your worship, I just have one thing on that issue. Is it seems to me that
Mac Lang issue?
yeah. They seem to have a bit of an unrealistic time frame in some of their minds. I wonder if there would be some way of just letting them know what our process would be and giving them a timeline. They were talking October this year, maybe next year. You know, so
Well, staff, according to the management report, expect to report in October or November, and that's
Okay.
just to deal with some of the land use, building code, and related issues.
Right.
So yes, obviously October 15th for starting work on that project is not going to happen. I do believe that members of council are in contact with some of them. I know that Councillor Tom Grant had mentioned it to at least one of their.
yeah.
I had an informal, I just happened to run into the president of the Mac Lang Association, and unofficially, I just told her that I thought that their timelines were unreasonable and that they should speak more to staff about their timelines.
Yes.
Well, and the other issues, like when they brought their proposal, I don't know that they really thought about our process in all of this, and there'd be some cost involved and other things that I don't think they're aware of. So it might do them well to sit down with staff and just get a better picture of what they're in for when.
Well, I know that two representatives of the committee, if you will, or the society will be meeting with me next Tuesday morning. So that'll start some of the process, and we certainly encourage the guy about the preschool to talk to staff about those issues. So,
Right.
yeah, no doubt the message will get back through many different venues.
Yeah, fair enough. I
No,
just read the tone of those letters, and I think, boy,
yeah,
that's not realistic. So.
that's again.
Your worship, in at least one of the letters, and I think it came up in conversation during one of our conversations about this topic, was reference to the Filbert Society.
Yes.
I wonder if anyone on council could pass that message on to the Filbert Society.
We do have a liaison position.
Are they aware that there was some interest of their connection? And is there interest of the Filbert Society to be associated with anything like this?
No doubt there'll be many things that'll twist and turn on this. And
Yeah.
we do have a liaison, Councillor Swift, who will keep them apprised.
So
Appreciate that.
thank you for bringing it up in discussion with them.
All right, so moving on.
So just to
sorry.
clarify, so staff will have some contact with the group for input both ways. I know they were hoping that the staff report would come out sooner than.
It'll be a number of weeks. There's significant legal issues there. There's planning issues. There's obviously zoning issues. It's not currently zoned as park, and needs to be done that way. And then there's all sorts of issues around consultation with the public. So all that'll be hopefully encompassed at least in a report in October, November, and it'll unfold as it will. Staff, obviously, this is a relatively new issue. Staff have been working on many other issues, so we have to keep mindful of their capacity to deal with new items. And no doubt, the groups that are involved and the neighbor concerns that have been raised will all have to be balanced out and considered in the fullness of time. So hopefully we'll get a start on that in October, November, and see where it unfolds.
There'll be environmental issues there too, I would think.
There's a whole host of issues.
Yes.
Yes. So it won't be up and running by January 1st
No.
of 2015. But, you know, they brought some good ideas forward, and no doubt we'll have to consider what's involved. All right, so moving on, another issue around Kai Bay Park, just from the accessibility committee, just a letter for receipt, and again, staff are dealing with this issue.
Move receipt.
Receipt then, yes?
Sorry, did you just say staff are dealing with it?
Yes, they've had conversations with Al Fraser, our Parks Director, and in fact, you'll see in the letter that there's some reference to the playground. I think some of this has been triggered by the recent installation of beach mats at Goose Fit, and you know, there are some challenges with trying to do the same at Kai Bay. I think the reference in the third paragraph about the most doable options being an accessible trail from the play toy area up to a small knoll, that's been discussed with Al Fraser, and he's looking at that, I believe, is what I understood the staff told me that. So no doubt we'll try to make it more accessible, and around the issue of a beach wheelchair, I guess we'll see what happens there. But the committee obviously will have to do some more research on that. It's typically rocky beach to get to the sand when the tide is low. So it'll be a work in progress again. All those in favor? Motion's carried. And last but not least, a bit of a surprise, but a letter from MMBC. Maybe not a total surprise, but I do believe we should receive this letter and watch what happens at BDCM.
I move we receive this letter and watch what happens.
It will have some impact on our budget for next year, which the new council will have to deal with, but who knows what will unfold. Obviously, there's some challenges there. All those in favor? Motion's carried. All right, no late items or other delegations, reports from member of council. Start with Councilor Pendergrass.
Oh, thank you. Well, I went to the Marina Park info session when they brought their plan in. It looked pretty good. It'll be interesting to see how that all unfolds. And I also attended Star Winchester's 65th birthday party.
Oh, happy birthday, Star.
There you go. Yeah. Who knew? She doesn't look a day over 64 and a half.
That's what claiming our attention. Councilor Fletcher.
Thank you. Since we last met, I attended the Regional District Board meeting where we received minutes here tonight. And earlier today, I attended a special CBRD board meeting.
Councilor Swift.
I attended the waterfront presentation, and I attended Jim Stevenson's retirement party.
We did that too.
Star's birthday party, and this morning I attended the volunteer coffee at the Pillar.
Councilor Price.
Yes, I also attended the retirement party, and sad to see Jim go after all these years. But, I'm sure he'll enjoy his retirement. I also met with Sean Vincent at his invitation to discuss the Lawn Hotel proposal. And I did have a wonderful fish and chips down by the Marina Park in celebration of summer arriving today. And thought it would be really great after yesterday. It seemed like a very nice
Return of
day.
summer.
We arrived.
Return of summer, yes. And it would be, you know, looking forward to the unfolding of plans down there so that you can actually sit and have your fish and chips without looking at the cars. And
Right.
it's a fabulous spot. That's it. Thank you.
Councilor McKinnon.
Yes, August 21st, I went to the Comox Night Market, and just as was said earlier, kudos to those involved for starting that up. It's been well received and well attended, and it's a great event here locally. I went to the waterfront revitalization project meeting, and I share the sentiments of other councillors there. It's exciting, and looking forward to sharing that with the public and getting input from the public on that as well. attended the retirement function for Comox Rex Jim Stevenson. Even though he's a Saskatchewan Rough Rider fan, I did wish him well. And, he was off to the game. Unfortunately, they beat the Lions, so you'll probably hear it from him there. Also attended a Park Drive Park Community Barbecue for the Tour de Rock. Well attended there, and nice to see that happening in that side of town. Attended the last of the Philbrook Summer Series concerts, Celtic Bank in Victoria, and finished off with just a great concert, and they were well attended, and kudos to the Philbrook Society for the success with that. And I had heard there's some concerns about noise, and Celtic music is music from heaven, so if there's any complaints to that, send it my way, and I'll try to
What if it's bagpipes?
explain that. Also, the last thing I'll mention is I attended one of the Comox by the Sea paddle nights here and barbecue, and one of the local supporters and businessmen here suggested that Mayor and Council sponsor one of the barbecues next year for the paddle night. And I'd like to, at an appropriate time, entertain a motion in that regard, that suggesting that council do so. John's Independent Grocery provides most of the goodies there, and basically it's just manning the event. And, it's a good suggestion, and it's a great community event. So perhaps next spring we can entertain that for the paddle night. And kudos to those people that have been hosting the barbecues locally. A good turnout there. Another great event. We're using our Marina Park, and kudos to all those that organized that.
For a moment there, I thought you were going to see if we could all get in a canoe and paddle in the same direction.
You just do circles.
All right.
That's my report.
Thank you. Councillor Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I attended Jim Stevenson's retirement party. I also attended the Marina Enhancement presentation by our architects and consultants. I attended the regional board meeting on August 26th. I attended another emergency convened meeting of the regional district in Cameron today at 3 o'clock. And I attended Star Winchester's birthday party on Saturday. That's it.
Okay, I'll just report similarly. Attended the Waterfront Enhancement meeting. Also had the pleasure of attending my first Island Coastal Economic Trust Board meeting, and the next one will be October 17th, at which hopefully we'll have the Phase 2 application for the Marina Waterfront project for consideration, following all the public consult and finalization of the concept. Jim Stevens' retirement was certainly a great pleasure to see him retire for the second time after having retired with the City of Courtenay and then working with us for 4 years. We certainly wish him and Vicki well into the future. A couple of things related to the Mayor's Golf Tournament coming up on September 12th, a radio interview at Eagle FM, and then a photo op here earlier today. And just to note, there is some room for a couple more teams, and any individual golfer will be hopefully accommodated. Registrations through the Old House, and the event is a week from this Friday. In the last 5 years, that event has raised over $160,000, which has been donated to a number of worthy causes, and hopefully will raise another good sum this year. There will be, as an enticement for participation, 8 hole-in-one prizes, which includes 5 cars, 2 snowmobiles, and a Hawaiian cruise, and a $100,000 cash prize, sponsored by the Old House. And Scotiabank is also sponsoring, as they've done in the last year or so, $1 million shootout at the end of the night or at the end of the actual golfing for those that contribute for that opportunity to try to knock it in the hole in one shot for $1 million. So lots of excitement around that, and it looks like, and it's a Hawaiian theme as well. So lots of excitement there. The rest of the agenda, I don't think we have anything else. Any media questions? The public here, other than former Councillor Davis, and no in-camera meeting, so a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?